The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the agenda is my statement about how the hearings are going to run tonight. We are here tonight because the City of Deltona has contended that there are violations of the Deltona City Code that exist. This is a public meeting, which means that no general public comment will be accepted, but each of the respondents and the enforcement officers here tonight and any witnesses each of you call will be able to present evidence to me regarding each case and the violations of the Deltona City Code that are being alleged. I am an attorney and appointed by the City Commission to render decisions in these code enforcement cases to determine if a violation of the city code exists and what fine will be imposed, if any. If you are here for a Massey case, you might see that next to your case number on the agenda. That means that I will be determining solely whether you have come into compliance in a timely manner in accordance with the previous order that the special magistrate issued in your case, and will not be reopening the case to determine whether or not a violation existed. Any decision I make this evening will be put into a written format in the form and order. A copy of my written order will be provided to the city and then mailed to you as well. It is important to note that for any order I issue, you may appeal by sending a written notice of appeal to Circuit Court within 30 days of the execution of my order, pursuant to Florida statutes, section 162.11. The procedure of the hearing today will be governed by Chapter 162, Florida statutes. Formal rules of evidence shall not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed and shall govern the proceeding. Hearsay is admissible, but only to support other competent and substantial evidence. If you are a respondent, you will be able to testify, tell me what you think I need to know about your case, present evidence and witnesses. Your testimony will be under oath, so I will be swearing you in, and this hearing is being recorded. For each case, I will call the case number, and the city will proceed first. The city has the burden of proving that the code violation exists, and you will be allowed to respond. For each case, I intend to admit the case file, which you should have received a copy of when you entered the building today. If you did not receive a copy, please let me know that when you come up for your case. I will take the cases in the order that you signed in, first come and first served. Do I need to announce any cases that are withdrawn? Okay. Okay, so the only case I have here is DEL 23-230. Which is 2250 East Union Circle. So if you are here for that case, you do not need to stay. Okay, I will swear in everyone who intends to testify today as a group, which includes the code enforcement officers. So if you intend to speak to me today, please stand and raise your right hand. Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you. All right, we can proceed with the first case. All right, this is case 22-211, a Massey case, 1567 La Villa Street. Go ahead.
Okay. This is DEL 2-21 Massey, property address 1567 La Villa Street, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-014-100-120. Property owner, BAF Assets 3 LLC. And this case is a request by the representative of the owner to ask for lien reduction So this case was presented in July 2022 for a no permit on the concrete work. Notice violation was sent out. This case was presented as special magistrate at $75 per day after a 30-day period to get the permit. The permit was not gained by the owner or representative of the owner for the concrete work. It did go to the Massey, and the Massey case at the time presented in January of 2023 had a total fines, I believe was represented about $11,000
At that time?
at that time. The owner did apply for the permit in March 2023 and was finalized with the May. The permit was issued for the concrete work, and the permit was finalized in May, mid-May. At the time of the issue of the permit, the total fines was at $19,350. So that's where we're at. And contacted by a representative at the time, it explained all the fines and fees that occurred on the property over that time period, and they proceeded to file to this date to get us to, or ask for a reduction on their lien.
Okay. Did you have anything else, Mr. Mead?
That's it, Laura.
Okay. And so what was the date of compliance that was ordered by the special magistrate?
I believe it was, let's see. That would have been August the 26th or 26th,
August 26th,
2022.
2022. Okay, and your recommendation is to reduce it to 4,500, or
Yes.
is that the application?
That is what the request from the city is okay to accept that $4,500, and then
Okay, can you explain your reasoning for that?
I believe I know there was no contact in, but I know it's an excessive at $19,000. It was just saying that the city's cost into the case were near that of the $4,500. Around, well, they were at calculated.
I'm sorry, the costs were close to
Not
4,500?
close. They were about $1,100 total in man hours and mailing, stuff like that.
Okay,
To the case. So give back that we're at the fines that the owner allowed to accrue at $19,000, because there was no contact until February of 2023 in the case. The city's willing to accept the $4,500 of good faith on the fact that came into compliance.
so February 2023 was the first contact you had from me?
First contact, and that was through the lien, Mariela Martinez Morales, that through Main Street. She was a lien representative for the
Okay. And then is the applicant here, or
I believe
we're on Zoom? Sir, did you want to tell me anything about your request?
Yeah, I mean, we're requesting, we always put permit fees in our scopes when they're written, and it's our assumption that the contractors are going to pull the appropriate permits. I know when the officer sent the notification out, it goes to our corporate office, which is in Texas. And sometimes it takes a while for it to filter down to the local branch. Once we receive it, we try to make contact with the code officer, and then obviously make contact with our vendor as well in order to ensure that they're pulling the proper permits. So I know this one took a little bit longer. I do know that once we contacted the vendor, they started working on obtaining the permit. I know they had issues trying to find people to do the survey on the property and to find an architect engineer to do the drawings for it as well. Sometimes it's tougher to find anyone to do work on smaller projects like that. They all want the larger projects, like the ground up stuff.
Okay, understood. And what was the amount that your request was to reduce it to? Did you have an amount?
Yeah, we're requesting it to be reduced down to $4,500.
Okay. All right. If the city is willing, is amenable to that, which I'm hearing you are, correct?
Yes.
I'm okay with recommending that. This, to have the date of compliance of August 26th and then, not having any contact until February, that's a pretty significant time. But given that we are covering the city's costs and there is some additional lien that would still remain on top of that, I'm willing to go down to recommend to the city commission $4,500. And sir, just so you understand, this is just a recommendation. So the city commission will have to approve the lien reduction. I will prepare an order that includes my recommendation.
Excellent. Good.
Okay? All right. Thank you. All right, the next case is 23-256, 23-256, 990 Hughes Circle.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tyler Russo. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a co-compliance officer. This will be case number EL 23-256, the City of Deltona versus Rosado Mendez Zarilla. The property address is 990 Hugo Circle. The parcel ID number is 813-040-400-140. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code, Section 34.1, which states that the exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary, so as not to pose a threat to public health, safety, and welfare. Corrective action for said violation is to repair, replace, or maintain in good repair any exterior surfaces, which is the roof. Obtain permits if required. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 245 Providence Boulevard, Deltona 32725. Structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the number when obtained. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing and notice of code violation and a certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the prop appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I spy any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what observed on the day they were taken. The case was opened in March 18th, 2023 for a tarp on the roof. I have spoken with the homeowner multiple times regarding the violation and how it can come compliance. Ms. Rosado did inform me that they have been in litigation with the insurance company, which is why the tarp has been up on the roof, or is still on the roof. Dating back to September 1st was the first time I noticed the tarp was replaced a shrink wrap seal, which is now covering the whole roof. Since then, I have not made any contact with the homeowner. The city would like to request 6 days for the property to come in compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner notified the city of compliance.
It's my phone.
Okay.
My name is Zaria Rosado Vicente, and I'm here for my health for roof. My English is not good, so that's why I bring my daughter to speak to me, because I have a proof that I'm doing with my house insurance. So I'm here to show you that it's not easy to do with the house insurance because it takes a while. I don't have the money. I just lost a baby, and I had miscarriage, and I have a cancer, and I had to chemotherapy. Also, I have paper proof that I do with my house insurance. I don't have money because everything here to fix the roof, you have to have perfect credit. I don't have no perfect credit. and I had money, income, right now, this moment. Tell your name.
Hi, my name is Kira Mendez. Zerili Rosello's daughter.
Can you state your address for the record?
Yes, 990 Hugo Circle, Deltona, Florida 32738. It says the claim partner, Zerili Rosello Mendez, dear Volusia County, we claim partner public adjuster office are writing this letter to inform you that due to damage to the Zerili Rosello Mendez property located at 990 Hugo Circle, Deltona, Florida 32738 on 09-28-2022. We are starting representing Ms. Zerili Rosello Mendez on a roof claim caused by Ian hurricane, consequently resulting roof damages, causing missing shingles as well as damage inside the property. We will be obligated to replace the roof of house. By now, we have set a tarp to protect Ms. Zerilla house, and the roof replacement process began as soon as the insurance company included its decision. We hope that you can accept this letter as an apology from our part until we can finish all the process that is required from the insurance company. Thank you.
Final.
And it says claim partner signature by Jose Robledo.
So this is from your claims representative?
Yes.
Okay.
And to fix it, the roof is not easy. Right now, this moment, I have no income but at home because I have a molar pregnancy, and that is they removed the mass and the baby together, and I had to have a treatment for blood. It's every Friday I had to take blood. If my level don't go down, I had to start chemotherapy.
Okay.
And I'm not working right now, this moment.
All right. Do you have other documents that you would like for me to see?
Yeah, I have a lot issue with, it's not the only one, the roof. They had to fix a lot of stuff in the house. But we're trying to win this case. And also, this is not only one. I'm behind my house, and I put in the Indian balance. I have like $2,000 right now, this moment. And I put in the Indian balance there, and I start have a program with U.S. Mortgage. They're going to give me a chance to start a new balance to pay my house. So I don't have no money this moment. It's no way me to fix it. I had to wait the house insurance so they can get the check.
Okay.
Because my credit is not good. So it's everywhere. It's no program, but people have bad credit. You don't qualify. What are you going to do?
No, and I understand there's some circumstances that you're dealing with. So what I would like to know is, what do you think is a reasonable time for the roof to be fixed?
I had to wait for the house insurance. The only one chance I can do is the house insurance so they can give me the check. It's just a process right now. It's not easy. It takes a while because that's the house insurance.
Well, I mean, I can't order whenever your insurance proceeds come through. I mean, that's not something that
Right now,
that I can do. So I'm looking for, do you think 90 days would be sufficient? Or
hopefully soon. I called a company for the roof, the house. They want me to pay $25,000, and I called a bunch of company on different price. One is 40, one is 50, one 55,000. How the way me to find the money right now? I don't have no money, and right now my condition I can't work. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in the bed resting.
Understood. For the city,
And I have proof by doctor. I have proof the house insurance. I have proof that I have all this. We're trying to fight so they can get the money. They're supposed to all things that to fix it. they're supposed to, I'm trying to fight with a house insurance for $83,565 to fix the last stuff's going on. And I have proof, obviously, here. All this stuff is my case.
Okay, can you repeat the part you said about was that the amount, the estimate to fix the roof?
Can I show you?
You may, will you please? Okay, so saying the estimate amount is $83,565.
It's last go on the house, I had to fix it. There's no way it's not, I was trying to fix my house so they can be in shape. You know, that house I bought in 2010, I never fixed it, like the whole thing was supposed to do.
Okay.
In the storm, they messed it up in roof.
Understood. All right. Do you have copies of these two top sheets? Is this the only copy?
That's the only one they give me. I have also.
No, that's fine. We can have a copy made of just these two.
I have also have a program for the house. Program to see if I can codify to the imbalance for my house for my mortgage, because I don't have no money. I don't want the house to take away from my house because I got kids in the house and my daughter is learning disabled. I got kids in the house.
Understood. All right. For the city, yeah, can we, I'll give back these two, but I'd like to make a copy of these two.
I have stuff to want to show you.
Okay, let me just ask this before you hear that. Yeah, the top two. So for the city, I do think 6 days is probably not reasonable in the circumstance. So, what would your recommendation be? Because I think that there are.
I'm okay with the 90 days, ma'am. And also, I'm going to leave her my business card. We do have a housing department. I'm not sure she's in contact. Might be help. I can't guarantee that, but it's an option that might be there for you.
Thank you.
This case is going on for 6 months now, and I feel for you. I'm okay 90 days, but maybe everything will work out in 90 days.
Everything is in here for credit. I wish I have a good credit. I don't have no good credit, that's a fit. And I have also, I want you guys to hear, he's the person, let me say something. I want you guys to hear this if you can.
It's really, this is one I'm trying to qualify you for solar and your roof, and I couldn't due to your low credit score. Right now I am trying to qualify you just for your roof with a program that the name is Pay. Almost sure it's going to be done. Just I need some more information. I will contact you tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much.
That's for loan? Are you asking?
No, this is, I'm supposed to trying to see if I can do roof and the solar the house, because electricity is super high. It's like $500 I had to pay my FBL, and that's too much high. And I'm trying to see if I can codify for the solar, the house, and the roof together. It's a lot of stuff that I wanted to do together, but I guess my credits don't codify, and I had money, and I had to fix the house on the roof is $25,000. So it's how way I can get $20,000 if I not have no income right now.
Okay, so you're talking about qualifying for a loan for that?
It's like program for the roof. Yeah.
Okay. All right, understood. I'm going to find, I mean, and let me just, so the picture that I'm looking at, picture 3, it is a, that's the tarp on entire roof
It's a shrink wrap seal, I believe that's what it's called. It covers
Okay.
the whole roof.
over the entire roof. All right.
Because if I take it out, the white one, if I don't fix it, if I take it off, they're going to have a mold in the house. I don't want no mold in the house. I have a daughter, have an asthma condition, and need to be safe for mold.
Understood.
And I have a grandson, 2 years old, with learning disabled and health condition.
Right. Like I said, you know, I understand. I'm going to give you a little bit additional time. I'm going
Thank
to give
you.
90 days. You know, we want to see you know, get it fixed. We're not
And
here to
can I
make
show
it
you this one?
difficult.
Also wanting to show you this.
What is it that you're wanting to hand?
It's a U.S. Bank home mortgage. I need to show you this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hold this. Hold this. Yeah, hold on a second. It's that one. Sorry. So that one I'm going to show you is about my house mortgage payment. Right now, I have no money down. I don't have no money to pay my house. So I'm trying to codify programs so Indian balance to see when I pay off the house. Right now, it's no way me to get money with this condition I have in my health. And I approve from doctors, Dr. Raji office for OBG.
Okay. I don't need to see that because
Okay.
I don't want, I understand your testimony, but I don't want to have
It's
that be
about molar
document.
pregnancy. I never heard that in my life. It's a molar pregnancy. I can't even know that. It's about molar pregnancy for cancer.
Understood. But I don't want to see
Okay,
documents
no.
where we have to keep them
Okay,
and
I'm
it
sorry.
would be a medical record, so I don't want to have to do that. I understand your
Okay.
testimony. Okay. All right. I don't know that I really need to keep this for the record. I mean, I think I've heard enough. So I'm going to have them give back to them. So I'm going to find respondent in the case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct violation before 4:00 p.m. on.
I heard also, I'm sorry to disturb you, I heard they have a program. I'm trying to see if true or not. It's for housing, for people who have no income, so they can have a program, something. I don't know. If I know anything, any program, just let me know, please.
Okay, I'm going to finish my ruling, and when I'm done, you might want to speak with Mr. Rollins, the enforcement manager, and he might be able to give you some additional resources.
Thank
okay?
you very much.
All right. So I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on, you know what, I'm going to do, so 90 days is December 26th. Let's do, I'm going to give a little extra time because that's right at the holidays. So let's do, I'm going to do December 8th. Okay, that's even a little longer than 90 days.
For what day? December?
What? I'm sorry, January. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so 4:00 p.m. on January 8th of 2024. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact code inspector to verify compliance with the order, and find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file is Exhibit A, and I'm admitting these two sheets here, from the respondent as Exhibit B, which is the claim partner letter and the estimate for the roof. All right, so if you can just speak with Code Enforcement Manager Danny Ron, and please be in contact with Mr. Russo about kind of compliance.
Okay, and paper that I give to you, you can read it back, so I need also back
What? You need what back?
the packet that I give it to her, or you give it to her? You have, I'm sorry, she had it, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's okay. All right. This is a case of fire 23-018, 2820 Doyle Road. Go ahead.
Ready. All right. For the record, my name is Samuel Scher. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 018-23, the City of Deltona versus GDH Properties, LLC. The property address is 2820 Doyle Road, Unit 12, Deltona, Florida, 32738. Parcel ID is 911104000010. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code, as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code and NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. Specifically, the violated sections are Chapter 11.1.7.3.1 of NFPA 1, which requires each disconnecting mean electrical panel to be legibly marked to indicate its purpose, unless located and arranged otherwise so that the purpose is evident. Chapter 4.1.3.2.2.5 of NFPA 1, which require buildings to be designed and constructed to provide reasonable signage and lighting to identify hazards, exits, means of egress, and other building safety features. Chapter 13.1.1 of NFPA 1, requiring construction documents for all fire protection systems to be admitted for review and approval, and a permit be issued prior to the installation, rehabilitation, or modification of a fire protection system. Chapter 13.1.6 of NFPA 1, requiring detailed records documenting all systems and equipment test and maintenance shall be kept by the property owner and shall be made available upon request for review by the authority holding jurisdiction. Chapter 11.1.2.3 of NFPA 1, which requires permanent wiring that's abandoned and placed, shall be tagged or otherwise identified at its termination and junction points as abandoned and placed, or removed from all accessible areas and insulated from contact with other live electric wiring or devices. Chapter 11.1.8 of NFPA 1, which requires all panel board and switchboards, pole boxes, junction boxes, switches, receptacles, and conduit boxes shall be provided with covers compatible with box or conduit body construction and suited for conditions of use. Chapter 12.3.3.2 of NFPA 1, which requires that fire-rated gypsum board walls or ceilings that are damaged to the extent that openings exist, the damaged gypsum wallboard shall be replaced or returned to the level of fire resistance using a listed repair system or using materials and methods equivalent to the original construction. Chapter 37.2.9 of NFPA 101, which requires Class A and B mercantile occupancies in mall structures to have emergency lighting facilities installed in accordance with Section 7.9, and Chapter 7.9.2.1 of NFPA 101, which states emergency lighting shall be provided for a minimum of 1.5 hours in event of the failure of normal lighting. Corrective action for violations is to identify on the electrical panel which breakers serve the emergency lighting and properly identify/label all circuit breakers on all electrical panels. Provide functional emergency lighting to the remainder of the building where it is not already installed, including both restrooms. Provide identification signage on the door leading to the electrical room. Obtain a building permit for the installation of the fire alarm communicator and all required inspections. Provide a copy of the September 2022 annual fire alarm inspection maintenance report. Mark the remainder of the unused electrical panels and wiring as abandoned in place, and provide approved cover plates for all approved electrical boxes and receptacles. Repair the holes in the drywall throughout the building. Repair the non-functional emergency lighting in the center of the store. The statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On April 17th, 2023, Fire Safety Inspector Lisa Nadeau conducted a fire inspection at business Home Decor and More.
Mr. Schaller, really quickly, sorry, before you go on, I just want to make sure, are there any of the cases that, in your opinion, have come into compliance, any of the violations, or we're talking about all of them?
This one, the majority of violations have come into compliance. We just have 3 that have.
Okay, so let's focus on those 3. Which 3?
All right. So essentially, during this fire inspection, Inspector Nadeau and myself observed a Starlink fire alarm cellular communicator that was installed. According to city records, a permit was applied for back in 2020, was never issued. After we wrote it up, in our fire inspection report, another permit was applied for. It has not been issued yet. The contract has yet to provide an electrical contractor to run the 120-volt electrical wiring, but I have been in contact with the contractor. They are aware of the requirements. They are working on it. We need a copy of the 2022 fire alarm inspection, testing, and maintenance report, and there are 3 areas of the building which are still missing functional emergency lighting.
Okay, so can you tell me which of the code sections that you've cited that we're still discussing that, in your opinion, have not come into compliance?
Yes, it would be Chapter 13.1.1 of NFPA 1, which requires the permit for the alteration of the fire alarm system. Chapter 13.1.6 of NFPA 1, which requires the detailed records for the fire protection systems. And Chapter 37.2.9 of NFPA 101, which requires the emergency lighting to be provided throughout the Class A mercantile occupancy.
Okay. All right, so it's your testimony, they have not turned in the requested maintenance records,
That's correct.
that the emergency lighting is non-existent or non-functional, or what?
In the mentioned areas, so they did install emergency lighting in the center of the store. However, they did not install emergency lighting in the restrooms or in the electrical room itself, so it's completely missing. There's no fixtures there.
Okay. Not in the restrooms and the electrical room?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the other one was for, they needed to have a permit for alterations made to what exactly?
The fire alarm system.
Okay. And what were the alterations that were made?
They installed a Starlink cellular fire alarm dialer, which is essentially a cell phone that's connected to the fire alarm that replaces the old-fashioned style phone lines for dialing out to the alarm monitoring company.
Okay, and then there's just, they didn't obtain a permit when doing that?
That's correct.
Okay.
They've applied twice. It's never been issued yet to this date.
Okay. Why not?
The first permit back in 2020, I believe Fire Marshal Shivers did the review on that one, and the contractor simply filled out a permit application but didn't actually provide documentation of what they were going to do, what model communicator they were going to install. In the subsequent reapplication, which was done, I believe in, wrote down the exact date, I want to say August of this year, they didn't indicate what model communicator they were going to provide. Once they did indicate the model communicator, that specific fire alarm communicator requires a dedicated 120-volt circuit run to it, which the fire alarm contractor doesn't hold a license to run it to. So they provide an electrical contractor
Okay.
as a subcontractor that would provide the power to that communicator.
Gotcha. All right. And what was your recommendation on time to comply for, and I would say for each one individually if they're different?
Correct. I believe 30 days should be ample time, seeing as we've been in pretty open communication with both the builders and the contractors. The contractor is aware of what they need to do. Yesterday, a permit application was dropped off with a 120-volt circuit onto the fire alarm system. There is going to be more information needed on that, but I'm pretty confident that should be able to be accomplished within 30 days.
Okay. And what are the recommendations on the fines for each one?
$25 per each violation.
Okay. All right. And I see the property owners are here, so what would you like to tell me about this? And please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Donna House, and my address is 53 Lake Drive, DeBerry, Florida. I do have the documentation for the 2022 paperwork. I have it here. I did try to email him, but I must have had a senior moment and put in the wrong email address, so I do have a copy here of that paperwork. We have been working on going back and forth with the alarm company for months to try to get this rectified, and hopefully, we are on the right track.
Okay.
The other thing is when we do lease these properties, the tenant is responsible for the fire violations in our lease. So the one about the fire lighting is not our responsibility as a landlord.
Well, it's your responsibility under the city code. What you have your independent, relationship, a contractual relationship, that's, not something that can be, that I would look at, right? I mean, as the property owner, you're responsible to ensure that the building is in compliance. So, what would you, I'm just going to ask you as well, what do you believe to be a reasonable time to correct the remaining 3 violations that you've heard discussed?
I imagine 30 days. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in agreement with that? Okay. All right. Was there anything else you want to tell me?
Yes. Now, if our tenant does not address these issues, do we have a recourse to, shut them down, or
Well, I really can't provide you with legal advice about
Okay.
your lease. That would be something that you would need to consult your own attorney about.
Okay.
I don't know what remedies you have provided for in your lease.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Can I give him the report here, the 2022? Or?
yeah. Do you want that be? Okay. Do I need to, are you asking me to consider what's in the paperwork, or you just wanted to provide it to Mr. Aller?
It's one of the violations.
Okay. Okay, then we'll have to get that one.
Okay, so you aren't asking me to
No.
look at that paper? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. This is each violation, each of the three, on, that would be October 27th, 2023, which 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day for each of three violations will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Schaller and let him know when you've, come into compliance on the three items.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, and I'm sorry, the record, I am ending the case file here as Exhibit A, and I find that the notices were properly given in this case. Thank you. All right, this is case 23-244, 1870 Providence Boulevard.
Employed by the City of Deltona as a compliance officer. This will be case number D-23-244, City of Deltona versus Midday Rental LLC. Property address is 1878 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 8130-1516-0060. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, Adopt Florida Building Code, no permit. Violations, Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move or demolish or change the occupancy of a building or structure to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace the electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, should first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for concrete work. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was opened in October 2022 for an expired permit for concrete work done at this property. The property manager was informed of the violation and was advised to contact the permit department for assistance in obtaining the permit. A notice of violation was posted on September 13th, 23, and the property owner was given until September 23rd, 23 to comply. As of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 90 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, couple questions. One is, what was the date you said was the date for compliance that you gave?
Was September the 23rd.
Okay, because on the notice of violation, I see it says January 2nd of 2023.
That was the original posting, the first time we
Okay,
we
and so
posted it,
then it
yes.
was amended, essentially?
Correct.
All right. So, so this is what exactly is the concrete work that we're talking
Basically,
about?
it's just the stairway, that wall that was built. If you look at the previous pictures, it shows where, right over there, that was before the wall was built. And that was the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it for like ADA accessibility or something, a ramp, or what is,
No,
what's
it's just
the purpose of
regular
that?
access to the upper floor, because it's a two-floor building.
Uh-huh.
So that's how you access the second floor, from the driveway belonging to the next lot.
That's how, can you go back to the other picture?
Yeah. So as you can see, this is the upper level. This is the parking lot next door to it.
Uh-huh.
That's the access to the second floor from that parking lot.
Okay.
But you can also use the stairway from the actual address
All right.
downstairs.
Okay. And, all right, I don't have any more questions. Is the property owner present? Okay, you can come forward. Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Alisa Ober, and I'm actually owner of building now and owner of the business Magistrate Rentals LLC.
Can you, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you speak into the microphone?
Okay. My name is Alisa Ober, and I'm owner of the State Rentals LLC and
Okay.
owner of the 1878 Providence Boulevard building, which
Okay.
belongs to LLC.
Okay. All right, what do you want, what would you like me to know about the case?
Your Honor, I want to explain the situation because I bought this building in 2008 with my ex-husband, and sorry, and we put a lot of in renovations, like parking lots. It was like 150,000 in renovations.
Okay.
And what happened in 21, we divorced, and we didn't divorce. The divorce started. So, and, splitting assets. He locked the office, so I don't get into any paperwork whatsoever. So I had to go through attorney multiple times to get any documentation, what with the building, but it still was up in the air who is going to get the building because we had the other assets too. So it's like a splitting assets, and it's in Howard County.
You're saying during a divorce?
During a
Yeah,
divorce.
okay.
So I couldn't get any violation notes. I never heard about that. And the other thing is very busy place. I had a lot of customers. And I have issues with people are ripping off some stuff. So what I see now. So, and maybe violation notice was ripped off or something. Even manager couldn't see the violation notice. So I'm manager in place, PMI Central Florida, David Pierce. So he's, but he tried to communicate with my ex-husband. He didn't go anywhere. So I got the final court order only on July 17th. So I'm really asking about extension because I see how much it needs now and how much I have to put into, engineering, concrete work, and all of that stuff. So it takes time. And 90 days. I can fix the handicap rails, but I don't know if I can be able to fix the concrete. Some other concrete work. So I'm just asking if you can give me some, maybe 120 days or not. I don't know, whatever you think is reasonable. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So, and the building official is here, so I would like to ask, the testimony was that was a permit, right, and that it expired? So,
That's what I understand, yes. It was never completed.
okay, and so did they have engineering that they can still utilize for reapplying, or it has to be new?
As far as I know, we can use what we have.
Okay. All right, so
I'm so sorry. I contact the engineer today, and he's a beach toll engineer in Loftel. So he told me he's gonna look at the all issues Friday morning, this Friday, and tell me and my manager what needs to be done according to the city code. So please give me some extension, Your Honor.
If I may, there's a slight confusion. There is two separate cases that we have at that property.
Okay.
And I believe that she thinks that they're both combined. So the other one is for a wall in disrepair, and that's separate. We're not talking about that. We're giving them time to deal with that. So that has nothing to do with that.
I appreciate it.
So this is just for the railing.
This is only for this concrete work.
Correct. Yeah, and 90 days is plenty, as we won't need any engineer drawings at.
Gotcha, okay, all right. Does that make sense? Or do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so, all right. Was there anything else you needed to tell me?
No,
Before I
I
make
just,
a
I really appreciate that you're listening. I spoke with everyone in code enforcement 2 weeks ago, and now I know what needs to be done. So
Okay, of course.
I had no idea.
I think I'm going to go the 90 days actually a little bit more, because I don't want to do it right at the holidays, but I'm doing that based on what I'm hearing, which is this particular issue on the concrete work is not going to require additional engineering. So I think you should have plenty of time to come into compliance, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. So I'm going to, in the case file as Exhibit A, I find the notices were properly given in this case, and I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 8th of 2024.
Okay.
In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of, and I believe you recommended 25, correct? Yeah, $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact with him to let him know when you come into compliance, okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is case fire 23-013, 1200 Deltona Boulevard, seat 50.
For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number fire-013-2023. This will be the City of Deltona versus Deltona Wellness LP. The proper address is 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 50, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID is 813-006-000020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code and NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. This particular case is a violation of Section 1.7.12.8 of NFPA 1, which requires plans to be submitted to the authority having jurisdiction and a permit issued prior to the change of occupancy of any building, and Section 14.3.4.1.1 of NFPA 101, which requires new educational occupancies to be provided with a fire alarm system. Corrective action for said violations is to cease and desist utilization of space as educational occupancy, or obtain change of occupancy permit and pass all required fire inspections, and to install a fire alarm system in accordance with NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm Code, inside of the space. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations are sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. June 22nd, 2023, Fire Safety Inspector Jory Bailey conducted a fire inspection at this location. Among several other violations which have since been corrected, he observed that the space, which was formerly classified and being used as a business occupancy, now being utilized as an educational occupancy without a valid change of occupancy permit issued by the City of Deltona. He also observed there was no fire alarm system provided for the space, which was now being used as an educational occupancy. The occupant, Burn Academy, and property owners were notified of these requirements. Inspector Bailey and myself conducted subsequent follow-up inspections on August 22nd and September 11th of 2023. No fire alarm permit had been applied for, and no change of use permit had been issued, and the space is still in use as an educational occupancy. I conducted a follow-up inspection yesterday, September 26th, 2023, and observed that the space was still in use as an educational occupancy with no fire alarm system installed. A change of use permit application was submitted on April 17th, 2023, under permit number COUC 23-007. However, as of May 15th, 2023, there were still outstanding plan review comments, and the permit has not been issued. Yesterday, September 26th, around 4 p.m., I received a call from Timothy Olstead with Superior Drafting and Engineering, who stated he is working with the property manager, Michael Mather, to draft up a set of plans and to correct this violation. He also did supply me with an agreement between the property owner and his engineering firm. So in closing, the city would like to request 45 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day until such time that the property has notified the city compliance.
Okay, can you explain what is actually going on with the educational occupancy? What is the business, or what was it before? What is it changed into?
So it used to be, I believe this space, Suite 50.
It was a pharmacy.
It was a small pharmacy. And at some point, the pharmacy closed, they vacated, and the school moved into that space, which is considered an educational occupancy because of the amount of students and the amount of hours per week that occupy the space, which triggers the change of occupancy, and that also triggers the educational requirements of a fire alarm system to be installed.
Did you say a school or a store?
A school.
A school, okay, I was confused, all right. Okay, so is it like a daycare, or?
It's a charter school.
Oh, a charter school, okay. All right.
I do have pictures of the set as the school and a picture from the exterior, but just due to the fact that there's students, minors inside, we didn't take a picture of actual children in there, although we did witness them in there during school hours.
Okay. Can I see the pictures? Are you bringing them up?
They're printed.
Okay, so in my case file, am I looking at, it's marked as B? Let me just hold up.
That's correct.
All right, so this is showing me the educational setup with all the chairs. Okay, was there anything else, Mr. Schaller?
That's it.
Okay, so I see the property owner is here. What would you like to tell me about the case? And please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Michael Mather, and address is 2837 County Road 776, Webster, Florida, 33597. I'm sorry, I just moved. I just remembered that address.
Okay.
I'm the owner's representative. We have struggled in the past to get an engineering and design company to be interested in projects this size. So I have kind of handled them myself, mostly through the generosity of Fire Marshal Shivers. I think she's getting a little busy to be able to hold my hand, and I'm getting busy to accommodate these things in a timely fashion. We were fortunate enough just recently to engage, I forget who mentioned his name,
Timothy Olmsted.
Timothy Olmsted, who's agreed to take on this project as well as two more that you're going to hear about in the next few minutes. Grateful for that opportunity. It's a little bit of an unexpected expense, but we understand as owners we have a responsibility to see these projects through from a safety perspective as well as a code enforcement perspective. The thing that I would add is I texted Tim and asked him what he feels like is a safe time to be able to commit to. Because there are 3 projects, I'd like to respectfully ask for 60 days instead of 45, unless he's something too that 45 would be adequate. I'm a little concerned that getting him to put his nose to the grindstone for 3 projects, 45 days coming into the holidays might make me a little nervous. I respectfully ask for 60 days.
Okay. And Mr. Schaller, do you have a response to that?
Have you also, Mr. Mayor, have you engaged with the contractor too about getting the system, either in a new system or extending the existing system into those suites?
They're going to extend the existing system. In the past, the owner of the school has been dealing with that, but knows that we need to move them along in this same time frame too, which is another reason for the 60 days. They've got a company that's dealing with the rest of the school, so I'm confident that they can do that.
Yeah, we have no problems. The 60 days.
All right. Okay. Anything else you would like me to know at this point?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We appreciate this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I am going to admit the case file as Exhibit A. I find the notices were properly given in this case, and I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before. That would be 4:00 p.m. on, 60 days would be November 26th. Let me give just a little bit more because that's right at Thanksgiving. So let's do November 30th. So that's slightly more than 60 days.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So 4:00 p.m. on November 30th, 2023, in the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further to contact code inspector to verify compliance with this order. And I do want to clarify, so $50 is for the total of the 2.
That's correct.
Yes, and I agree with that in this case because it seems those two code sections really work in tandem.
That's correct.
So,
it wouldn't pass the change of occupancy. It would get the permit issued without having the fire alarm system extended into it.
right. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is in Fire 23-014, also 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 51.
For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 014-2023. The City of Deltona versus Deltona Wellness, LP. The property address is 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 51, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-006-000020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code and NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. This case is a violation of Section 1.7.12.8 of NFPA 1. Requires plans to be submitted to the authority jurisdiction and a permit issued prior to the change of occupancy of any building. And Section 14.3.4.1.1 of NFPA 101, which requires new educational occupancies to be provided with a fire alarm system. Corrective action said violations is to cease utilization of space as educational occupancy or obtain change of occupancy permit and pass all required final inspections, and to install a fire alarm system in accordance with NFPA 72, National Fire Alarm Signaling Code, inside of the space. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On June 2nd, 2023, Fire Safety Inspector Joy Bailey conducted a fire inspection at this location. During the inspection, he observed the space, which was formerly classified as a business occupancy. It was previously used as a Jackson Hewitt, I believe, tax prep office. It's now being used as an educational occupancy without a valid change of occupancy permit issued by the City of Deltona. He also observed that no fire system was provided for the space. The occupant, Milburn Academy, and property owner were notified of these requirements. Inspector Bailey conducted subsequent follow inspections on August 22nd and September 11th, 2023, and found the space was still in use as an educational occupancy with no change of occupancy permit issued or fire alarm system installed. I conducted a follow-up inspection yesterday, September 26th, 2023, and observed that the space was still in use as an educational occupancy with no fire alarm system installed. No permit had been applied for. Yesterday, also September 26, 2023, I received a phone call from Mr. Timothy Olmstead with Superior Drafting and Engineering, who stated he is working with the property manager, Michael Mather, to correct this violation. In closing, the city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay. And actually, one question. So since this is an educational occupancy, and is there no fire alarm system currently, or is it just not functional, or?
Currently, there is not installed.
Okay, so what is the plan during the course of them getting one? If it takes them to November 30th, I mean, do they have to do any kind of fire watch or anything like that?
That's correct. So we've talked with the school itself, and myself, the fire marshal, have taken a few things into consideration: the small size of the space, the limited number of students inside, the readily available egress. There's a door on each side equipped with panic hardware within maybe 50 feet of any position inside the educational occupancy.
Okay.
Taking those factors into account, at least for 60 days, we feel comfortable allowing them to remain operational.
Understood. All right, thank you for that. All right, so this is a different case, but can you say it again, your name and address for the record?
Of course. It's Michael Mather, and it's 2837 County Road 776 in Webster, Florida, 33597.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to tell me about this particular case?
Same school, expansion into an adjacent unit as the previous case. 60 days is, I'm comfortable with the 60 days, and I appreciate that. We will get this all corrected. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, well, then I find that the notices were properly given in the case, and admitting the case file as Exhibit A. And I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4 o'clock p.m. on November 30th. In the event respondent is complied by state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna fall. Okay, got it. All right, so then we're moving on to Fire 23-015, also 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suites 52 through 56.
For the record.
Okay. And sorry, so Mr. Schaller, so there are a lot of different code sections cited here in this case. So are there any here that have come into compliance, or are we talking about all of them at this point?
So there are a few that come into compliance
Okay.
recently.
Can you tell me which ones, in your opinion, have not?
Not. So section 17128 of NFPA 1 for change of occupancy permit required. Section 171210 of NFPA 1 for no construction work proceeding until permit is issued. Section 13.1.1 of NFPA 1, which requires construction documents and a permit for installation, rehabilitation, and modification of a fire alarm system. And section 7921 of NFPA 101, which requires emergency illumination be provided for a minimum of 1.5 hours in the event of failure of normal lighting.
Okay. So 4 that we're just saying. All right, sorry, please proceed.
Turn my mic off, I apologize. So corrective act for said violations is to obtain a building permit for the installation of the additional fire alarm devices within Suite 56, obtain a building permit for the installation of the fire-rated doors between Suites 55 and 56, repair the emergency lighting fixture in Suite 54, and cease and desist utilization of 56 as an educational occupancy, or obtain change of occupancy permit and pass all final inspections. Statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of the day, of what I observed on the day they were taken. On June 22nd, 2023, Fire Safety Inspector Joy Bailey conducted a fire inspection at the station, among several other violations which have since been corrected. He observed an opening had been made between Suites 55 and 56 to extend the educational occupancy into Suite 56 with a 90-minute fire-rated door installed, and that there was no permit yet issued for the installation of this door or the opening created between the suites. Permit BLDC 21-0100, which was issued in July of 2021, install a fire-rated barrier between Suite 56 and 57, did have a revision submitted to include the installation of the fire-rated door on April 17th, 2023. However, the revision was denied on April 25th, 2023, so it has not been issued yet. Fire Safety Inspector Bailey observed Suite 56, which formerly classified as a mercantile occupancy, was now being used as an educational occupancy with no change of occupancy permit issued for this space. A change of occupancy permit, COUC 23-0006, had been applied on April 17, 2023, but is still awaiting a resubmittal per plan review or comments on May 15, 2023, and has not been issued yet. Fire Safety Inspector Bailey also observed firearm devices installed in this suite. Smoke detectors, pole stations, horn strobes. Permit number fire 21-0033 was issued for the installation of the devices in 2021, but that permit had actually expired in April of 2022 with no inspections ever conducted. Inspector Bailey also observed an emergency light inside of Suite 54, which did not function properly under emergency lighting mode, therefore not providing the required emergency lighting of this suite for the means of egress. August 22nd, 2020, myself, Fire Safety Inspector Bailey, conducted a re-inspection of the space in which none of the aforementioned violations had been corrected or permits issued. We also conducted an inspection on September 11th, 2023. Observed conditions were the same, no permits yet issued. On yesterday, September 26, 2023, I conducted a re-inspection, observed the space was still used as an educational occupancy, and that the violations had still not yet been corrected or their permits issued. Yesterday, on September 26, 2023, I received a call from Mr. Timothy Olmstead with Superior Draft Engineering, who stated he is working with the property manager, Michael Mather, to correct this violation. In closing, the city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, a fine of $100 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, so 1.7.12.8, that's the one I've been talking about change of occupancy.
That's correct.
And so they need to obtain a permit for that change of occupancy,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? But they do have actual fire alarms in this suite, is what you're saying?
They do have a fire alarm in the suite. The permit expired. We never had the opportunity to go and conduct, functional test of the devices in the suite, but they are installed.
Okay. And then help me with the other 3 violations. So 13.1.1, that is for obtaining a permit for the construction of what?
13.1.1 requires a permit submitted for the permit issued for the before the alteration of a fire alarm system.
Okay. Was the one that they haven't, that expired.
That's correct.
And then 7.9.2.1 is for the emergency wing, which is not functioning at this time.
That's correct.
And the 1.7.12.10, remind me of that.
That requires a permit is issued prior to any construction work.
Okay. But they will come into compliance by obtaining an after-the-fact permit, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so some of these are not really, again, like some of the other ones, the violations kind of work in tandem with each other.
That's correct.
This one, I'm not sure if that's still the case, because you have the change of occupancy, emergency illumination, and a permit for the fire alarm system. Help me understand that. If you were to do the change of occupancy, do they have to have the permit for the alteration for the fire alarm system? They can work together?
Yes.
Okay. And name with the emergency lighting?
We would not approve the final inspection on the change of occupancy if there is emergency lighting that's not functional.
Okay. Understood. Okay. Was there anything else, Mr. Schaller, on this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So again, we have a different case. So can you state your name and address for the record?
Sure, it's Mike Mather, 2837 County Road 776 in Webster, Florida, 33597.
Okay. Was there anything else you'd like to tell me on this case in particular?
I guess the only thing that I would say, 2 things. Number one, the emergency light, that will be corrected within battery by the end of next week. So that would consider a more pressing safety issue, so we will correct right away. As the permit for the fire door, we're under the false belief that when we got the permit for the firewall, that door was part of that permit. It was pointed out that it was not, so we attempted to amend the permit and ran into time and ability to find the proper designer, which we have done. So we're comfortable with the 60 days, and we'll bring this all into compliance.
Okay, and that for the fire door, that's related to the 1.7.12.10?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you needed to add, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm going to admit the case file as Exhibit A. And I find respondent in this case in violation of the city as charged, and that respondent correct violation before 4:00 p.m. on November 30th, 2023. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will be imposed for each of the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. And the $100 is the total, correct, for all of those?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have Fire 23-016, also 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suites 5758.
For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 016-2023, City of Deltona versus Deltona Wellness LP. Property address is 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 57 through 58, Deltona, Florida 3725. Parcel ID is 813-006-00020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-86, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code and NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. This particular case is a violation of Section 6.1.14.4.1 of NFPA 1, which requires certain separated occupancies to be provided by a fire barrier. In this case, a mercantile and business occupancy, which requires a 2-hour fire barrier, and Section 39.3.2.1 of NFPA 101, which states in business occupancies, hazardous areas, including but not limited to areas used for general storage, boiler or furnace rooms, and maintenance shops that include woodworking and painting areas shall be protected in accordance with Section 8.7, which requires either a 1-hour fire barrier for the boiler room, or automatic fire extinguishing system be provided for a hazardous area. Corrective action for said violations is to obtain a permit or provide an approved design detail for the repairs conducted to the fire-rated wall for the boiler room, and to obtain either a building permit or by documentation the existing firewall between Suite 58 and 59 contains a minimum of 2-hour fire rating, and provide design detail for the repairs that have been made to the wall between Suite 58 and 59. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In accordance, both notices posted on property at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On February 8, 2023, Safety Inspector Lisa Nadeau conducted a fire safety inspection at this business, Executive Dry Cleaners. During the inspection, amongst several violations which have been corrected, Inspector Nadeau observed the fire-rated barrier walls for the boiler room in a state of severe disrepair, with holes throughout, drywall separating, and what appeared to be heavy water damage to areas of the fire-rated wall. In addition, Inspector Nadeau noted multiple holes and areas of damage to the 2-hour fire-rated wall separating Suites 58 and 59. Inspector Nadeau informed the business owner of these violations and the steps necessary to repair the fire barriers, which include either a building permit for a reconstruction of them, or repairing them with a UL listed or other approved system, and then providing documentation of which listed or other approved system and materials were used and how the walls were repaired. Inspector Nadeau conducted a re-inspection on March 28, 2023, in which the wall has still not been removed. On April 28, 2023, Inspector Nadeau conducted another reinspection in which she observed the boiler walls and the tenant separation wall had been repaired with spray foam, caulking, and several pieces of drywall that were replaced. As a result, Inspector Nadeau requested documentation of the materials used and what method was used to repair the fire-rated walls in order to ensure the integrity of the required fire separation was maintained and restored, and that the repairs were done properly in accordance with the UL design details or other approved fire stop method. Follow-up inspection on June 12th, and further documentation was provided regarding the repair of the fire-rated walls. September 14th, 2003, myself and Inspector Nadeau conducted another re-inspection of this location. We observed the fire-rated barrier in the boiler room, showing more signs of damaged repair. And again, more what appeared to us to be water damage to the gym board. No documentation had been provided on how the prior repairs made to the wall for the boiler room or to the tenant separation wall. An inspection was conducted yesterday on September 26th. Conditions did remain the same, and to date, we've received no documentation on how the 2 sections of fire-rated wall have been repaired.
So in closing, city would like to request 45 days for property to come into compliance with the rendered violations, or a fine of $50 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Is that $50 each, or because you're saying there's two areas, right? One is the separation between the tenant spaces, and one is with a boiler room?
That's correct.
So
It would be $25 each, bringing it to a
25 each.
total of the.
Okay, and on the agenda, we have also cited chapter 11.1.2.1. Is that no longer
That compliance.
compliance? Okay. Okay, and the 39.3.2.1, that relates to the barrier with boiler?
That's correct.
And the other one, what was the 6.1.14.4.1 relates to?
The separation between
Yes.
different occupancy classification.
Okay, thank you. All right, again, we're on a different case, so can you state your name and address for the record?
Okay. Owners, I'm Michael Mather, 2837 County Road 776 in Webster, Florida, 33597.
Good evening. My name is Rafael Rodriguez. My physical address is 557 Antelope Drive in Deltona, Florida, 32725. And I'm the owner of Secretary Dry Cleaner.
Okay, so you have the business use that is next door, is that the issue?
That's correct. He's the owner of the dry cleaners, which is the business occupancy.
Okay. All right, is there any you want to tell me about this case?
Yes. Well, I've been in this place for 3 years, since July 1st, 2021. Okay, so when I first got to the place, it was completely destroyed. And so my question is, how this business passed previous inspections if I took cover on July 21st? So I got my first inspection, and I did a tremendous work. In a matter of 30 days, I fixed over 25 issues, okay, from previous owners and previous owners and previous owners. So one of them was the boiler. We replaced a boiler, okay, a 5-ton boiler. So they require me to get a permit for the boiler when it's not required to get a permit for the boiler. The permit I can have is from the Florida State, for the Florida inspector. So I pay $1,000 for the permit for a contract to get a permit for the boiler. So when I came to, they say, "Oh, you no longer need a permit." So I never got my $1,000 back on that. And I say, okay, what about the other issues? Oh, you still got to get a contractor, the boiler room fixed, and wall and the electrical, and I think one of the electrical outlets. Okay, so I got a contractor. So he patched the boiler room. So we used the fire rate code panels. We fixed it, and we fixed a lot of stuff around the walls. We patched the wall between the AA Crab, which is my next door restaurant. We fixed that. And then I guess, you still got some issues with the repairs. And that when I got when I contacted the contractor, so he said, "Oh, yes, no problem. I'm going to go to the city hall and pull the permit." Okay, so I'm going to meet you out there so the city hall so I can pull the permit. The same way I did with the boiler mechanics. So we pulled the permit and everything fine. So he never showed up to these days. I'm texting, I'm at the hospital, I'm somewhere else. So he never got the permit. So I'm stuck with the permits. No one wants to do the job. I mean, that's a small job. Panels, everything's being done, all the work. But it's just get the final touch and fix whatever he didn't fix. So other than that, so we've been doing a lot of work in the place, fixing all the stuff, and so here we are.
Okay, so, but Mr. Schaller, you recommended 45 days, correct, to get into compliance?
That's correct.
All right, and so do you believe that that is a reasonable amount of time to correct the 2 fire rating issues?
I probably need more time because so far I haven't had anybody come to the store and fix, whatever he got left and pull the permit, of course. And I mean, it's not what we don't want to comply with the city, the Deltona city. We want to comply. I fixed so many stuff that previous owner didn't fix in 20 years. So everything falls on my shoulders in a matter of 3 years. And I've been fixing stuff for the previous owner didn't fix in 20 years. And I fixed them in 30 days. So I believe I need more time because I need to get the right person to fix all that. And I'm just finished. And that's it.
Okay. Certainly, the progress that you've made so far, it sounds like, in correcting a lot of violations is something that I consider. However, I also have to consider, safety. And so I guess I'm asking either Fire Marshal Shivers or Mr. Shaw to respond about requests for additional time. What you're feeling about that?
What would be your time frame, sir?
I'm probably going to need 60 days.
60 days?
Yeah.
We would not be opposed to 60 days at all.
Okay.
I don't want to say give or take. Give 60 days. That doesn't land on the Thanksgiving holiday
Right.
like previous cases.
Right. Okay. Okay, and do you have any photos you wanted to show me, or, I see a lot in the case file, but is there something in particular you want to show me about this?
Essentially, in the pictures that you'll see, we're looking at the same ones here. You'll see a boiler room.
Yeah.
You'll see areas where it's patched over. A few areas where
I'm sorry, it's the wall question that we're talking about with all the patching on it?
That's correct.
Okay. And is there a picture of the other, the wall in between the 2 tenant spaces?
Towards the end of your exhibit packet, you'll see a wall that has a few areas that have been patched. One of them will show a clothes hanger, one will show a washer and dryer, one will show an ironing board.
Yes, I see.
And then the other has a pegboard to the right and then a small hole towards the bottom. That's the tenant separation wall that needs a repair done to bring it back up to its fire rating.
Understood. Thank you. All right. Was there anything else, gentlemen, you want to tell me about the case?
Yeah, just one more thing.
Yeah.
So, because when we talk about the wall between AA Crab, which is the restaurant, and my place, the wall between the 2 tenants, I'm kind of confused because that wall been there for, 40 years in the same place. So I don't know if it's a 1 hour and a half rate, fire rate. How do I know that? So, we just fixed couple of patches. It had small holes. We fixed them, we repatched, and that's it. So I'm kind of confused on that wall. What's the right procedure on that wall to fix?
Okay. Is that something Mr. Schaller can address?
Yes, it is, sir. When you have your contractor come out to repair the boardroom walls, there's a few different methods that they can look at existing wall to be able to determine the hour rating. Our main concern on the report is just those holes that were patched. We need to see what type of material was used to patch them.
Okay.
So whether it be fire,
the kind of material they use, right?
Yeah, yes, a form of documentation. I would recommend the permit to repair the boiler room. Go ahead and tie that in there. That way it's all documented under one document.
So, and I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
So it's been running in my head. So how come the previous owner passed the inspection over 20 years, since the boiler room being the same for years and years and years? That's my big question.
Well, I think okay, we'll let Ms. Schaller respond. I think what he's saying is that you have patched the wall, and so therefore they're not sure whether or not the fire rating of the required fire rating of that wall has been compromised by the materials that you use. Is that correct, or can you explain?
More or less correct. Essentially, the concern would be that the materials that were used are rated to be used in a fire barrier.
Okay.
As for why anyone passed inspections, unfortunately, I can't speak the past. I've worked here for about a year.
Because I searched the records with the city, and they don't have no records for tax receipt for the previous owners. They wouldn't tell me what happens. And I said, how you guys pass it? I mean, I know the previous owner for years and years, and I know she has the same place for 20 years. The same boiler room, the same walls, everything. She never fixed anything, so I did. But how come she passed the inspections every year? I don't understand that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't speak for what's transpired in the past with previous inspectors. You can do a public records request and request pre-fire inspection reports. Unfortunately, the system that we have currently is a new program, so I can't look in the history. But I do know we haven't been out there at least since 2020, even dating back. The first thing we were out there was for your business tax receipt that I have in our current program.
Yep.
But you're more than welcome to do a public records request and see what previous deficiencies were out there.
Yeah, so, and another question is, so since Paul is here, I've been trying to speak to you a couple times, and I want to know how we're going to resolve the permit of the boiler. Since I pulled the permit, all these months I've been behind the contractor, the maintenance contractor, and finally I got the contractor pulled the permit, charging me $1,000, but the state of Florida say I don't need a permit for the boiler. He's the one conduct the inspection, and I know he called you guys and said who's being in the Deltona seat being certified to inspect the boiler.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. So this case does not relate to the issue with the permit on boiler, correct?
Just the boiler room.
Okay.
Boiler, yeah.
The wall.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'll let you perhaps offline, after this, maybe you can speak to Mr. Lynch, but it really is not relevant to the particular violations that are being alleged.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on November 30th, 2023, which is slightly more than 60 days.
Thank you, sir.
And in the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day for each of the 2 violations will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Schaller.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is case 23-254, 693 Colchester Avenue.
I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a co-compliance officer. Before this case gets undergoing, in the exhibits that we were given, the prop appraisers is the incorrect one, but the postings were the correct ones. So just the exhibits submitted were just the wrong property appraisers.
Okay, so the notice of violation and note of hearing is mailed to the incorrect.
No, it was mailed correctly, but the exhibits presented to you have the incorrect property appraisers records. Just
the sheet, the
Correct.
property appraiser sheet is
Correct.
wrong. Okay, all right.
Okay. So this will be
Go
case.
ahead.
This will be case number DEL 23-254. The City of Deltona versus Aponte Jose Enrique, Aponte Morena, and I apologize if I pronounce this incorrectly, Manj Adalia A. The property address is 693 Colchester Avenue. The parcel ID number is 813-062-300-050. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 8-5, adopting the latest edition of the National Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.1, which states that the exterior of a structure should be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary so as not to pose threat to public health, safety, and welfare. The corrective action for said violation is to repair, replace, or maintain in good repair any exterior surfaces of the roof. Obtain permits if required. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved in final inspection. Contact office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was started on January 1st, 2023 for a tarp on the roof. Throughout the time of this case, I have spoken with the homeowner a few times and have updated her about the steps we are taking, proceeding with the case as well as the special magistrate hearing. They have been fully aware of our process and that they have been dealing with the insurance company on getting the tarp dealt with on the roof. The city would like to request 6 days for the property to come in compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? It was $20 and
60 days.
60 days.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, was there anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, all right. I see the property owner is present. Can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Idalia Monge. Physical address is at 2409 Laredo Avenue, Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32738. This is my home with my parents. I have a letter from the lawyer as well. We did try to explain to him many times. Even the roofing company tried to call the city and explain to them that we're still in litigation with the insurance company, that they just don't want to pay anything. My parents live on a budget. It's not like they could go and spend X amount of money in fixing the roof in 60 days. This is, we've been going in a battle. In matter of fact, our case was backed up because there was another insurance company, another roofing company trying to make a claim under our name. That was another issue that delayed the process of us with the claim of the Ian situation with the roof, the leak, and what's going. If we remove the tarp and if it rains, the whole entire house is just gonna get met completely in the dining room. So it's something that we're still struggling with the insurance company that just don't want to pay. As a matter of fact, they raised my parents' insurance to $700 more. So I don't understand how, you pay for insurance and you don't get anything fixed at all. Not even the inside they want to fix.
Okay, so you have a letter that you'd like me to see. Could you please get that? He'll grab it from you.
There was many instances that I was on a three-way with the roofing company and the lawyers tried to get in contact with Tyler. We left messages and we never heard back. So I thought their roofing company had spoken to them, and I left the matter as it is until my mom got this letter. Then I called the lawyers and I informed them what happened, what was going on.
Okay. And so what do you believe would be a reasonable time to comply? Because again, this has been going on since, let's see, when was, can you remind me again?
Yeah, so the case was started on January 7th, 2023.
Right. And we're at the end of September. So, what do you believe would be reasonable? I've already given 90 days. I'm inclined to do that here, but,
But what we're supposed to do, I'm not understanding if we can't get the insurance company. We're still in court battling for them to pay for this. We're still in court. I don't know when they're going to be like, okay, we're going to pay for it, and, everything starts getting worked. I don't know. We've been trying to communicate with them as well. I've been communicating with the lawyers. I've been communicating with Apex as well, and we just don't have a date. I mean, what's going to happen if after 60 days or 90 days that you gave me and we still haven't received a decision from court or from the insurance? What are my parents supposed to do? I don't know.
Right. I mean, ultimately, it's the property owner's responsibility to come into compliance with the code. So I want to provide some leniency, but we also have to ensure.
Absolutely, no. Absolutely, I do. I want to fix my parents' home. I want them to live in a nice home without any fines they don't have to worry about, that if it's going to rain, if it's going to blow, the tarp is going to blow away again. We have to call the roofing company. Water's getting in here again. We have to come back and put a tarp. This is I never been through this, to be honest. I'm from originally New York. This is so new to me.
Yeah. So I guess Mr. Ron or...
Just like the last case, I will give my business card, and there is a housing department with the city as a program that can probably help with the roofing. I can't guarantee it, but I will take your phone number and I'll give my business card.
Absolutely, yes. That was my parents, absolutely, and myself, of course.
Okay. And so, and Mr. Ron, are you amenable to extending it to 90 days or?
I'm almost for 90 days, just like the previous case that we had for the...
All right. That's what I'm going to do. Is there anything else that you needed to tell me
I
about
don't
the
know,
case?
maybe if I could get a letter, like our lawyers give to the insurance company that, listen, this is what's happening to these owners because you guys refuse pay.
Yeah.
Guys reason.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, so what's going to happen is that I will prepare an order that states the time that I've given you to comply, and that if, it's not fixed by that time, then a daily fine can begin to accrue. So that order will be sent to you, and I strongly suggest that
give it to them.
Give it to them, and
yes.
hopefully that will speed things along as quickly as possible. So, and do you have is this a copy that we can keep?
That's a copy.
Okay, all right.
I have the original ones,
Okay.
yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case as Exhibit A, as well as the attorney's letter from Elevate Legal Services. That would be dated September 27th, 2023. That would be Exhibit B. And we'll keep this copy for the file. I am going to find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 8th of 2024, which is slightly longer, 90 days. And in the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues to see for stated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact with the code inspector.
May I have your direct numbers so that we
I'll give you my card.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is case 3-003, 1884 Elkham Boulevard.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23003, City of Deltona versus LLC Expert Car Care 5. The property address is 1884 Elkham Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 8130-1515-0300. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 110-501, interpretation of uses and structures. Violation, City of Deltona Ordinance Section 110-501, which states if a use or structure is not expressly permitted in any classification, the enforcement official shall not permit such use or structure in the classification unless it is substantially similar to a use or structure otherwise permitted in the classification. Corrective action for said violation is to seize rental of the U-Haul trucks and trailers in the C1 zone property or apply for proper rezoning. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This is a proactive case that began in June 2022 to address improperly parked U-Haul trucks the right-of-way. In our research, we discovered that the property is not zoned to have a U-Haul rental business. The store manager was informed of the violation and was advised to contact the zoning department for assistance or remove the U-Haul trucks and cease renting U-Haul trucks and trailers at this property. A notice of violation was posted January 30th, 23, and the property was given in March 1st to comply. As of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, so can you talk to me about, so this is a C1 zone property, and your position is that rental of the U-Haul trucks is not permitted in C1?
Correct. It is permitted, however, in C2.
Okay. If, so you've asked for 30 days for compliance. However, what would be the process in the city for a rezoning if that, if they decide to pursue that?
We suggested that the property owner speaks with someone in the zoning department and to see if there's a possibility of rezoning the property to make it under a C2 where the property is actually allowed for to rent vehicles. But as it is right now, C1 is not, it's not allowed to, the property owner is not allowed to rent any vehicles at that property.
Yeah. But my question is, what would be the process for a rezoning? Because most cities, you would have a planning and zoning board hearing, you would have perhaps up to 2 city commission readings, which
Correct.
obviously could not take place in 30 days. So I'm concerned about the time that you're requesting for compliance.
The property owner actually was served the notice of violation back in January, so that was way more than 30 days. But we're willing to work with them as far as time is concerned to get the property, speak with the zoning department and figure out, the steps necessary to apply for a C2 possibility of rezoning.
Right.
Where we don't know.
Obviously you don't know whether or not that would be successful.
Correct.
But it may be an option.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Were you going to say anything?
No, I just stepped back and.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see the property owner is here, so what would you like to do about the case? And please state your name and address for the record.
Jim Sada, 1884 Elkin Boulevard, Deltona, Florida.
Okay.
So the last time that this was brought up, we established that it wasn't just rental, it was also serving of the U-Hauls, and then the case was dismissed. So I didn't know that, I guess there was a misunderstanding that we still need to apply for rezoning to C2. So there's no issue on our end. We've been doing this U-Haul. I provided paperwork last time. You guys will have it in your records and recorded that we're doing U-Haul at that location for over a decade. And now all of a sudden it's changed. we have no problem rezoning if that's needed. But I would be requesting the time because, like you stated already earlier, it would be taking probably a very long time for the rezoning process. I would want that to be allowed for us to have that time.
Okay, so you're saying that the property has been used to rent the U-Hauls for over a decade?
Correct. Yes. And that was provided last time where this got brought up.
Yeah, I mean, I do recall, but I don't recall the specifics of what occurred at the last hearing that we had on this. I do remember the issue, but so did we dismiss the case or did we continue it?
This was a case that was dismissed.
Okay.
And giving the opportunity, I believe it mentioned then to give the property an opportunity to rezone at that time. But so far, I don't think we've gotten any rezoning. It's still under that same thing as prior.
Correct.
We're willing to work with him on time, get this corrected, the reclassification of the zoning. That way he can, be allowed to do it. We do have that. It's still being rented out, and I think he just admitted that.
Did we dismiss the case because the previous one was also involving repair? And
It was, if I may, I believe it was involving storage of vehicles, and that's the reason it was dismissed.
Okay.
We did not have the corrective action.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. All right, so when did the city, let me put it this way, at what point in time was this property zoned C1? How long has it been zoned C1?
I am not sure of when that occurred. It was when the property was built or not. I'm not sure. We'd have to check with the zoning department.
Okay, and then my secondary question, which you may know either, is at what point was the C1 zoning district the rental of, well, I suppose.
I have a copy here of the municipal list and all the businesses that could be operated under the C1 and the C2 if you'd like to take a look at it.
Right. Well, here's what I'm getting at is that, if his testimony is that he's been operating in this way for a decade, and I think that we would need to have more information because if use is non-conforming, then he can continue it, regardless of whether or not it currently complies with the C1 zoning designation. So, and I haven't heard anything that would help me make that determination this evening. So perhaps he needs to rezone, but that, there's more analysis, I think, that needs to be done here about whether, because he's raising a defense of, that this is potentially a non-conforming use that's been going on for 10 years. So I think that what I would do is continue this case and allow for you to do a little bit more research and talk with the zoning, planning and zoning, and try and figure that out.
Understood. We can do it continue to the next hearing. I'll actually, somebody from the planning and zoning department here can answer those questions that you have.
Right. Because it may be, for example, that this property was zoned something different, some other zone district, and then it was changed, and he had already been doing that use, and so it can continue until it's abandoned, right? So there's things that we need to consider about a non-conforming use, so I'm not willing to make a ruling on that tonight. So we'll continue this case to the next hearing, and that would be, what date would be? October 25th. Did you have anything else you want to tell me, sir, before?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue until October 25th.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. They're together. But, okay. Do we have one that isn't a reduction? Is this one is the reduction? Okay. All right. So this is, sorry, let me just make a note. Okay, so this is case DE 13-063 and 064. Are we talking about these in conjunction with each other? This is for, I believe, the lien reduction request.
Ma'am, if I could present these at the same time. The fees are the same, presented at this time, just different ordinance violation.
Okay.
Give me one second.
Go ahead when you're ready.
All right, good evening. This is going to be a reduction in fine for cases, case number DEL 3-063. Other case will be DEL 13-064. Property address is 990 Windbrook Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 8130-12010110. The current property owner is Artemio Ramirez. The previous owner who got the fine originally is Jorge Medina, with the L as a middle name, or middle initial. The first violation for case number DL 13-063 was section 14-141C. It shall be the duty of the owner or the person responsible for any dog cat brought into the city or acquired to the dog or cat license in accordance with this division, with 15 days after the dog or cat is brought into the city or acquired, or before the dog or cat reaches 6 months of age, whichever comes first. For DEL 13-064 is a violation of section 14-201A. Every person who owns a harbor cat or dog in the city shall have such cat or dog annually vaccinated against rabies by a licensed veterinarian. Evidence of such vaccination shall consist of a current certificate issued and signed by the veterinarian administering the vaccination. The owner or custodian of an animal required by the section be inoccluded against rabies shall keep a current rabies tag with the year attached to the animal at all times. Ma'am, so the case was presented on May 23rd of 2013 with the running fine of $50 per day with a cap of $10,000. The property never came into compliance. Ownership exchange in October the 22nd of 2024. I'm sorry, 2014. No lien searches were made by the current owner, and that's why he's here to get this reduced. Now, the officer that had initiated the case is no longer employed by the city of Deltona. The resident was not the owner at the time. Special magistrate lien. Present property owner purchased the home and is inherited the liens. The lien capped at $10,000 on December the 9th of 2013. The present property owner is requesting that special magistrate lien be removed completely, for the animals have not resided in property since Mr. Ramirez, and therefore the violation was not a violation that could have been brought into compliance. The city has a recommendation how much the reduction is fine, and the city recommends $2,000 per each case, from original $10,000 of each case.
Okay, so you're recommending $2,000 for each case based on?
Based on, we did an estimate of how much, our estimate was about $1,000 per case, covering the officer's time, vehicle time, staff time, mailing, recording, the magistrate time at that time. Now, we've also had dealings with this property owner at other locations.
Which property owner?
Same property owner, this current property owner.
The current property owner.
That's correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
We are okay with doing reductions, and I think $2,000 was a reasonable price for this one.
Okay. And what is what is your view of essentially the argument there was no ability for them to, bring the property into compliance or anything like that because it was really personal to the prior owner that they had a dog or cat that wasn't in compliance and they couldn't really do anything about that?
I understand. When he purchased the property, there was no lien search. I'm introducing that he should have done a lien search and he would have had these addressed back in 2014 when he did purchase the property. We don't want to just leave it alone. He is responsible for anything that happened at that property even before he became the owner. And that's why I presented this case tonight.
Have you looked at whether Mr. Medina, the previous owner, does he own other properties in the city still? Is it, the lien cross-attached to properties?
It has not.
Has not. So as far as you're aware, this person may have moved out of the city of Deltona
That's correct.
or doesn't own other property?
Doesn't own all the property in the Deltona.
Okay. Or anywhere as far as you know?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, let me hear from the property owners. Can you state your name, address, record?
Yeah, so my name is Vianney Ramirez, and this is my daughter, Artemio Ramirez. He's the property owner of 990 Winbrook Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725. We are here today because we would like to request a reduction of fine for the liens that were placed on the home. They were placed back in 2013, I think and my dad became the owner of the property in 2014. And we actually had no idea of the fines. My dad said that he did ask the realtor to do like what did he say, like a research?
A lien search.
Yeah, a lien search. And he said that there were no liens on the property. And what's it called? Tú dijiste que el señor no que había hecho el
chequeó todo, que no había liens ni nada, que podíamos comprar la pedal.
We actually had magistrate hearings here, and they've never meant anything about the lien. So we actually knew about it this year, so that we are here today. But we don't know anything. Like you said, that's actually we don't have anything to do with that. Those were pets from past homeowners, so we really don't have anything to do with that.
Okay. I'm inclined to, I guess I would be willing to make the recommendation to reduce it to $1,000 for each because that covers your costs in enforcement, but because these property owners really had no ability to make any kind of corrections to the violations, that's troubling for me.
We'll up to $1,000.
Okay. So I want to be clear.
Está bien.
Can I continue? Okay. All right. So I want to be clear that my authority is only to provide a recommendation to the City Commission. They ultimately have to make the final decision about whether to reduce lien. But I will write that recommendation and again, recommend that it go down to $1,000 for each. Correct? That was your cost estimate, Mr. Ron, was $1,000 for each case. So it would be $1,000 total. But ultimately, and it's their decision on whether to release the lien. Because in this case, it would be a partial release, right, to the $1,000, or sorry, $2,000 really for total. Okay? All right. That's what I'm going to do, and you'll receive the written order, a written recommendation when it's completed, and it'll be placed on a next City Commission meeting thereafter, or Mr. Ron will let you know exactly when that's going to occur. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, this is case 23-085, Mackey, 3304 Littlefield Street. What's that? Go ahead. Sorry.
My name is Janice Palasic, and I am employed by the City of Deltona as a compliance officer. This is Massey case number DEL 23-085, the City of Deltona versus Wesley and Steer. The property address is 3304 Littlefield Street. The parcel ID number is 813-032-430-130. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owners at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. It was ruled on March 29th, 2023, the property owner was given 86 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 86 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since July 26, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $3,200 over 64 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day. The city has decided to move forward with that $50 per day.
All right. And then, so, am I looking at the photo number one? This is from today?
That's from when the case was originally opened.
Okay.
And there should be another one from today. That's. That's from today.
That was it. That was up there today.
Okay.
That's
Okay, and Ms. Vlasic, did you have anything else before I ask the property owner to speak? Okay, all right. All right, the property owner is here, so can you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Wesley N. Steer. I'm the property owner for 304 Deltona, Florida. In this case, as what it is, proclaiming what they're talking about right now, 2021, my wife was deceased, which was at the property, so I was not there. So according to this now, we have a roofing company, which my insurance already paid $23,000 to come and do the roof. They said they'd come and do it until we come up with $4,000 to give them, which we do not have. And we are not getting no help from the state in no hurricane or nothing. So right now I want to know why we're going to want to charge me $3,000 at $50 per day over the property. I'm not even staying there. I don't live there. My wife says nobody even take up a penny and give me. Storm come, I don't know fund from no FAMI, now nothing to do nothing to my house. So I want to clear this plain. If the insurance already give money to a roofing company to do the work, the roofing company giving us until May of this year. They don't even contact me and let me know what's going on. But the state keep on bitching down my neck about the damage on my house. Do you all ever take and look at people who don't have a place, who do not have money, How many people in this country right here now in Central Florida don't have a roof over their head, do not have a dime of work to supply the needs? How many do you all look at that?
In his case, for...
Can you state your name and address?
That's my son.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Destier. I stay at 3304 Littlefield Street. As he did say, we did actually talk to the insurance people to get the money. We have a company that's supposed to be doing the roof, and they literally just reached out to me a couple of days ago telling me about like I asked them, I said, do you have any program that we can make payments or anything like that? They said basically we got to come up with the money all together. So we had to come up with $1,000 out of nowhere. Like you said, we don't have it right now. I'm trying to work towards it so I can get it fixed. I do know that is a problem. I was just trying to look at somebody else to get it done because I know that's the main problem of the house. And I don't like looking at it either because, like I said, it is a little bit of an eye, so I can see that. But I have been trying to get in with the insurance people. The insurance people gave the money to them, and they, like I said, they literally told them $4,000 we got to come up with. So seeing we don't have the money right now, that's the problem. That's a problem. And they was also supposed to be fixing the roof. That's why they're charging us so much to get it done. Because they're supposed to fix that part too, right along with the roof, and they're fixing that part too. So I'm just giving you a heads up, let you know what's going on.
All right. So you did receive the order, correct, requiring compliance by July 26th?
Yes.
And were you?
I got it. I think I got it. Yeah, I got it.
And was there present for the first hearing?
No.
Yes, I was present.
He was present.
You were present?
And my other brother was.
Because I believe we ended up giving you additional time to comply.
Yes, they did give us, I think, 60 days.
That's when I called the people to ask them, like, hey, this is what's going on. And I told them what's going on. I said, this is what's going on. They said, well, we can't really do nothing right now. Our hands are kind of tied because of the fact that we still got to come up with the $4,000. I'm like, we don't have that right now. So even with I said, is there any way I can make like payments towards it, and y'all can get it fixed so we can comply with what we need to do for the roof and everything like that, and also for the panel, so we won't get charged by the city. And he's like, well, until you get them basically up, they can't really do much about it. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. And so you don't have any timeline that you think that you would be able to have the roof fixed?
No time.
I can, if I call them again to get them to see what's going on with the process, we probably can make, if they said if I at least make it like I think like $1,000, they can start on the roof, and then we make payments towards it. That's what they told me last time I talked to them. So I would say about give me like 60 days. I'll probably do it. I probably can see what I can do, for real.
But in this case here, I want to know which roof will be costing $20,000 to repair it. As you can see what the house look like. You know, a roofing company gonna cost you $20,000 to repair a house.
But they do shingles too. They are
shingles.
Yeah. Let me add this. The violation is just related to these soffits, correct?
Yes.
So couldn't that be fixed fairly simply by just patching those holes? I'm not talking about replacing the entire roof, correct?
Correct. Yeah. I'm not sure how much it would cost just to replace that part of the roof to fix it.
I can look into it to see how much it's to get that done.
I just walked in again. So the violation is this portion right here?
Yeah, the soffit.
Yeah. It looks like some of the wood needs to be replaced, and the aluminum soffit, that's not so, I mean, everything's costing, the price is going up, but the cost, it shouldn't be that much. It's not, we don't want to repair the whole roof, is that correct?
Correct.
This is something that could probably be taken care of, within a week or two, once you have the materials.
Okay. Well, you see that water don't really have no direct person. We can't go and do that now, so I would like to ask you if you know anybody could do it for it.
We do have programs in the city, and I'm not sure if you qualify. We would definitely, give you the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
But this portion, I think you can take care of without, we'll reach out to the to the house department, and I'll be back and serve tomorrow.
Okay.
This part needs to, this is what we're looking for to
Yes.
get fixed. And it's
Yes.
been a couple months now.
Yeah.
Okay. So for Mr. Ron, I suppose, are you open to, basically having the fine apply going forward and giving some relief on the 3,200? Because I think there has been confusion about what was the correction, that needed to take place, because they're obviously thinking that they needed, to come up with funds to replace the entire roof. Would you be open to that?
Be open to that, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what I'm willing to do is, because again, their time to comply that was given was July 26th. So up to this point, $3,200 has accrued. I'm willing to waive that and say we're not going to, collect that, but the $50 would continue going forward. And again, I think now we've clarified, hopefully for you, what exactly needs to be fixed, and hopefully can be fixed in a timely fashion.
Okay.
Okay?
You can't do that.
All right. So then I am going to order I find that this is probably given this case. I'm admitting the case file Exhibit A. I'm going to find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed going forward at $50 a day. However, we are providing relief and not imposing the $3,200 that has accrued up to this point. But it will continue to run at $50 until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. So please make sure you notify Ms. Polaski as soon as you are able to, you have repaired the soffits, okay?
We do that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay. This is case 23-184, Massey 1571 Pendleton Street. Go ahead.
My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case for EL 23184. The City of Deltona, AHMS borrower LLC, care of Tricon American Homes LLC. The property address is 1571 Pendleton Street, Deltona 32725. Parcel ID number is 13011230510. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing are met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed in the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at the hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I verify any all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what observed the day they were taken. It was ruled on 5/24/2023 that the property owner was given 60 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 60 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since July 24th, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $3,300 over 66 days. The city is requesting fines continue $50 per day.
Were you finished, Mr. Mead?
And I have reached out to the local Tricon American Homes rep. He emailed him twice because there was another case that involved their representation. Still know they had a subcontractor apply for the permit, but I guess they could not, they had the qualifications to get the permit. So there has been a little bit of attempt to get the permit, but they have basically let it drop through and not follow through with it. So we'd like to still continue this thing.
Okay, so you're saying they have applied, but, or?
They said somebody did the note from the building department is they needed some.
It wasn't complete.
Right, so
Okay.
there's still reason to continue the fund.
Okay. All right, so, and your testimony is there's no the application has not been approved then at this point? Okay, all right. I find that the notice is properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file is Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance, an affidavit of compliance and filed by code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is case 23-185, Massey 2824 Corrigan Drive.
Pictures. Okay. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DL 23185B. The City of Deltona versus McNabb. The property address is 2824 Corrigan Drive, Deltona, 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-032-780-140. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on 26/23 that the property owner was given 60 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 60 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since June 26 of 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $2,350 over 94 days. The city is requesting that fines continue at $25 per day. And I did speak to the homeowner was home today, but she was unable to attend due to illness. The pool could not determine, they could not take a picture to see the blood here because the fence was replaced. She did share with me that the pool was still up, but she had somebody coming to take it down. She was not have time to come and get a permit, so she until let me can take a picture when she's the compliance now, but I tell her the fines are what they have been at this time, so they will continue.
Okay. Right. So right now, the pool's still there and have not applied for a permit?
No.
Okay.
The pool's there and they have not, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm going to admit the case file as Exhibit A. Find respondent's case failed to correct violation by the time specified special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance.
All right, thank you.
Case 23-217, Massey, 1489 DeRoca Street.
Yes, okay. My name is Todd. I'm employed by the City of Delta as a compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 23-27, City of Delta versus Harold St. Clair Collender Estate. Property address is 1489 DeRoca Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-072-180-140. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It ruled on June 28th of 2023 that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since July 29th of 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of 1,525 days over 61 days. The city is requesting the fines continue at $25 per day.
Okay. And then, so I see pictures from today showing that the soffits are still.
Soffit, it basically was, this was a roof disrepair on the roof damage, so there was, I would assume it was, I have not heard from anyone from this case that's able to speak for the owner, but the proper letters have gone out to service.
Okay.
As of today, I think it's pretty much a vacant home in the last months that I've dealt with the case.
Okay. All right, I am fine that notices were properly given this case, and I find, and I admit the case file is Exhibit A. I find respondent is, in this case, failed to correct the violation by the time specified in special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and continue on until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is 23-227, Massey 2021 Apricot Drive. You can go ahead.
Okay. My name is Lindsay Longstreet. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number EL 23-227. City of Deltona versus Todd L. Sindel II. Property address is 2021 Apricot Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID is 813-004-14080. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on July 20, 2023 that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance with those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since August 25, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $1,007 over 34 days. In closing, the city has requested the fines continue at $50 per day.
Did you say it was 1,700? 700?
Yes, ma'am.
So far? Okay. Okay, sorry. These are pictures from today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so
Those
was for the vents being repaired?
Yeah.
Okay.
The left side, it was this picture here, it's completely missing, and then on the right side, they're missing a panel, and then the gate's just kind of propped up.
Okay. But on the other side, you said they removed it?
Yeah, this one section, the fence was there at one time, but it's been completely removed.
Okay. So that's actually compliance, right? So they removed it, that part?
Yeah, but for the whole fence would have to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. All right. All right, I find the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file Exhibit A. I find respondent in the case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify code inspector to verify compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is 23-233 Mackey 2114 Van Orman Drive.
All right. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a co-compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 23-233. The City of Deltona versus 8 Yateman Estate. The property address is 2114 Van Orman Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-031-110-260. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property address at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on July 26th of 2023, the property owner was given 3 days to comply. The owner did not come in compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since August 26th of 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $825 or 33 days. The city requesting that the fines continue at $25 per day. And that's basically the fence now is looking great. Probably have to be another on fence in disrepair, but this still has been nothing done for the permit for the new panels that were placed.
Okay, right. So they had replaced some of the panel, and they have not submitted that permit application?
No.
Okay. I find the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file is Exhibit A. I find the respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in the case, and fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. This is case 23-234, Massey 1791 Amaro Avenue.
Okay. My name is Todd Mead. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. It will be Massey case number DEL 23-234. The City of Deltona versus Marie Florence Strickland. The property address is 1791 Amaro Ave, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-065-060080. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on July 26, 2023, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been received a fine of $25 a day since August 26, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $825 over 33 days. The city is requesting that these fines continue at $25 a day.
Okay, so this was an issue of the soffits?
Correct.
Okay, and this is the picture from today showing there's still holes in them?
Right. Yeah, they still.
All right. I find notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file is Exhibit A. I respond in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order. In this case, and the fine will be imposed set forth in that order and will continue to run until the party is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. All right, this is case 23-247, 1752 Gatewood Drive.
My name is Janice Pulasic, and I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is case number DEL 23-247A and B. The City of Deltona versus Elma Swain. The property address is 1752 Gatewood Drive. The parcel ID number is 813-073-070-060. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 303.1, which states that swimming pools shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition and in good repair. Corrective action for said violation is pool must be maintained and either drained of water or water must be chemically treated to remove algae. Water should be clear and sanitized. Violation B. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance 18-5, which, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states that the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have effects that admit rain. Corrective action for said violation is repair or replace the roof, gutters, or drainage. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. Violation A. On June 29th, 2023, after addressing a complaint on this property, High Grass, I observed a pool on the side of the house with an in-ground pool, which was green and unsanitary. When I went to speak with the resident, the property appeared to be vacant and there was a lockbox on the door. I proceeded to post a notice of violation onto the property in an attempt to contact the property owner. On September 2nd, 2023, I had reposted the notice of violation onto the property after noting that there was an error on the first one, which did not indicate a compliance date. On September 14th, 2023, on September 2nd, 2023, I reposted a notice of violation onto the property. I'm sorry. On September 14, 2023, I went to re-inspect the property and observed the pool was still unsanitary and green. All of the notices that have been posted previously by myself were still present on the garage. I was still unable to make any contact with the property owner listed with the property appraiser's office. At this time, a notice of hearing was posted onto the property, as well as an affidavit of service was completed. As of today, September 27, 2023, property is in violation. Violation B, on June 29, 2023, as I was addressing a complaint on this property for high grass, I went to the front door in an attempt to speak with the resident. I noticed the soffit was missing in 2 sections on the front house, exposing the attic and roof. The property appeared to be vacant as there was a lockbox on the door. I proceeded to post a notice of violation onto the property in an attempt to get in contact with the property owner. September 14, 2023, I went to re-inspect property and observed that the soffits were still missing. All notices that have been posted previously by myself were still present on the garage, and I was unable to make contact with the property owners listed with the property appraiser's office. At this time, a notice of hearing was posted onto the property, as well as an affidavit of service was completed. As of today, September 27, 2023, the property is still in violation. For violation A, the city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance. And violation B, the city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. So this is from today, this picture, so it's basically the soffits are totally missing?
Yes.
Okay. And you put up the picture of the pool from today, so? Okay, that's from today. All right, thank you. All right, I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I'm responding in this case in violation of the city code as charged. That respondent correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on October 27th, 2023. Just 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply, the state a fine in the amount of $25 per day for each violation, A and B, will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with order. Thank you. 23-248, 3240 Amber Street.
My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23-248, the City of Deltona versus SFR JV-2 2023-1, borrower LLC, care of Tricon American Homes LLC. The property address is 3240 Amber Street, Deltona, Florida, 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-032-400-060. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain the permit for the fence. Statutory requirements for notification for the hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to hearing. All of the evidence in the case, including the photographs, have been marked exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals I observed on the day taken. This case was originally heard at special magistrate in March 29 of 2023. wherein the owner at the time was given 45 days to correct the violation. The violation was not corrected within that time period, and on July 11, 2023, the property changed ownership before the original case was heard as a Massey. There is no permit on file to date for this property for the fence that was installed in November of 2022. So this case is being brought back as a new case on the current property owner. On September 17th, 2023, a notice for hearing and a notice of violation addressing the current property owner was posted and sent certified mail. I have emailed a representative of the current property owner, but have not received any response. No permits for the fence have been issued as of today. The city would like to request 15 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 a day to be imposed until such time that property owner has notified the city of compliance.
By 15 days.
15 days, the property owner is still the same property owner and represented by the same, it's just basically was a change of name from the property owner. So I've been in contact, again, it's Tricon. They were given the 45 days. A attempt to, again, submit for a permit. The representative was either qualified to obtain the permit with didn't have the qualifications to get to the city. So the shorter time is that they've already had 45 days. The original fines, which were at the special magistrate, are basically now starting again with the new 15-day
Okay.
try to comply within that time period.
Okay. Do you know if they need to obtain a survey or if they have one?
They had a survey in this case. For this one, they were basically almost, from what I've read in the building department's notes, they're almost there. Notes were sent back to the original person that applied, but then there was a secondary contractor that came and applied and have not answered to any response from
Okay,
Tricon.
so you don't think there's going to be an impediment to getting the permit in the 15 days?
No.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case, so I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on October 12th, 2023, which would be 15 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So, Renee, since this is a pretty short turnaround or to comply, if you can do this order first and send it over to me, and we can get that one sent out as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 23-249, 2031 Saxon Boulevard.
My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be number DL 23-249. The City of Deltona versus Saxon Plaza, Schaefer Investments, LLC. The property address 2031 Saxon Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32755. The ID number is 802-301-120090. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain the permit for the concrete slab and bollards on site. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This is a reactive case created from the information shared by the building department for the city of Deltona. On June 5th of 2023, I was provided information about a slab on grade poured at the subject address of 2031 Saxon Boulevard. It was noted that there was no permit issued for the concrete and bollards post on site. The concrete slab is estimated at 15 by 18 feet with 3 bollards. There are 2 existing permits for the mechanical and plumbing for the ice machine. The ice machine is to rest on the slab. I observed the slab with the bollards at the back of the building on Saxon Boulevard. I made contact with the property owner and discussed the no permit issue. He replied saying he would get the submittal into the permit within 1 week. This was on July 3rd of 2023. I did not locate any applications submitted for the permit on July 11th. I checked the case file on July 25th for any submittal as well. No permit was submitted for the project on record. I posted the property for a notice of violation on July 25th of 2023. The property owner did make contact with the building department on July 31st. I was informed of the call by the building official. The certified mailing of the notice for hearing came back unsigned to the city on August 2nd of 2023. The case was then scheduled for the special magistrate for September 27th. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city compliance.
Okay, and as of today, they have not applied.
I checked here at 3 o'clock, and there was no type of submittal or application started.
Okay, thank you. I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of city code as charged, and respondent correct the violation before 4 o'clock p.m. on October 27th, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. And just to make sure, you said that there was an ice machine here?
There's supposed to be. That's what the slab's for.
Oh.
But they did get the permits for the plumbing and the mechanical.
Oh.
They didn't get this. They basically did this work before the permit. They applied for the permit. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
(23-252) 2196 Howland Boulevard. We're getting close.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed at City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 23252, City of Deltona versus Circle K Stores, Inc., Co-Real Estate Department. The property address is 2196 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 811401000030. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, Adopt Florida Building Code, no permit. Violation City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct a large alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the interior wall, Applications must be submitted to City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved for final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at this address, at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, notices were put on the property in the city and at City Hall at least days prior to this hearing. The evidence in this case, including the photographs, have marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate trails of what observed on the door taken. This case was referred to us by the fire department, who during one of their inspections at this property noticed an interior wall that was built without a permit. The store manager was advised of the violation and the corrective action. The notice of violation was posted on July 11th, 23, and the property was given until July 19th to comply. As of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day to imposed until such that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay. Is it this red
Correct.
wall?
Yeah.
How is it, I mean, there was nothing there before, or is
No, that
separating
was-
spaces, or?
The wall is actually right behind that door in the second picture. So the store pulled a permit for a door replacement, and instead of doing the door replacement, they built a wall, an interior wall, fortunately without a permit, so.
Basically to make the store smaller?
No, according to the property manager, it was one of the contractors they hired that failed to get the proper permit for the wall, yeah. That wall is right up against one of the entrances that was locked.
Okay. Okay. So the door, can you go back to the other? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So I initially sent this case over to code compliance. If we were to somehow open up that door, it would literally lead to the back of that wall. What they did on the inside of the store is, so if you look to the right on that picture there where blue bin is, that's the front, I'm sorry, blue bottles of water. That's now the front door. There were two separate front entrances to the store. And what they did is they walled off the door on the left with the wall on the inside. The only thing they permitted for was to remove there used to be automatic doors there.
Oh.
They removed them and they swapped them out for the manual doors, and they put a wall in front of it.
Okay. All right. That's odd. But I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'll admit the case file is Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on October 27th, 2023, which is 30 days. And the respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. 23-253, 1682 Providence Boulevard.
My name is Bashir Turkzi. I am employed by the City of Deltona as compliance officer. This will be case number DL 23253, City of Deltona versus Little Caesars, Louis G. and Aura D. Major. The property address is 1682 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 813014070620. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Housing Code Driveways, violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.3. Sidewalks, driveways, which states that all sidewalks, walkways, stairs, driveways, parking spaces, and some areas shall be kept in a proper state of repair and maintained free from hazardous conditions. The corrective action for said violation is to repair the concrete causing the hazardous condition, located in the back of the building. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property in the city and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was opened in November 2022 for concrete and disrepair in the parking lot of this property. The property manager was informed of the violation and was advised of the corrective actions. A notice of violation was posted on November 30th, and the property was given until January 8th, 23 to comply. As of today, the property is in violation. City would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, and these are the areas you said behind the building?
Correct.
That are used for parking for employees,
Correct.
probably?
Right behind the building.
Oh, all right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code charged in that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on October 27th, 2023. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Thank you.
Fire. All right, fire 23-017819 Deltona Boulevard.
Name is Samuel Schaller, employed by the City of Deltona, the Assistant Marshal. This will be case number 5-017, 2023. The City of Deltona versus Circle K Stores, Inc. The property address is 819 Deltona Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-022-380020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1, fire violation of Section 63.9.2.1 of NFPA 1, which states that other than for vehicles equipped for and using compressed gas as a fuel for propelling the vehicle, an operational permit shall be required for liquid carbon dioxide systems in excess of 100 pounds or 45.4 kilograms. Corrective action for said violations is to obtain an operational use permit for the usage and dispensing of liquid carbon dioxide in a system that contains greater than 100 pounds through the City of Deltona Building Department. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to hearing. All of the evidence of this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. February 7th, 2023, Fire Safety Inspector Jory Bailey conducted a fire inspection at this location. Among several other violations, which has been correct, he observed 300-pound liquid carbon dioxide tank being used for the dispensing of fountain beverages with no operational permit on file for usage of this system. Store management was informed of this violation. Follow-up inspections were conducted March 21st, April 17th, May 21st, June 28th, and September 11th. Each time, Inspector Bailey and I observed the 300-pound liquid carbon dioxide tank still in use with no operational permit on file from the City of Deltona. On September 20th, 2023, Cheryl Barrow, who's the compliance manager with Circle K, contacted me and requested instructions on where to apply for the permit, which I directed her to the building department, and I also sent a follow-up email with their phone number and email address. I conducted a follow-up inspection yesterday, September 26, 2023. I observed the 300-pound CO2 tank, a Carbonizer 300, still in utilization with no permit on file. In closing, the city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. So for the CO2, you think 30 days would be reasonable? I don't know what the submittals would be for that kind of.
It's a relatively easy process. They basically fill out a form declaring they have the CO2 on site, how much they have and where it's stored. I'll come back out, since I specialize in hazardous materials, I'll take a closer look at the tank, the pressure release valves, make sure the appropriate signage is there, and then that they have a detection system in case of a CO2 leak on site. Usually, the process usually takes about 3 or 4 days.
Okay, all right, thank you. I find the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A, and I find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on October 27th, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply with the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day. The violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other issues we need to address before we adjourn? Okay, we're going to go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.